When I worked at the National Science Foundation, I would read about 600 proposals twice a year, and I can tell you that fully half of those proposals would pass the criteria that if funded, would good work get done. But right now we fund only 1 in 5 of those good proposals. How long can a nation throw away 4 out of 5 of its best scientific ideas and remain on top?
Like right now, I just did a private sector report trying to figure out how much carbon you can sequester using different forms of agriculture, and there's just not that much data on it. And it's not that people aren't passionate, because I was able to call a few professors, but there's just no funding. And if we want to develop smart policies, we got to have the data to back up the policies so you can write the report to cite. So it's kind of a cycle, and if we chop the cycle, it actually ends up hurting the government.
The real driving force of science in this society is the individual investigator. More and more, we're losing our ability to fund those people. I have large grants and I have small grants. It's my small grants that drive my creativity, and they always have driven American science.
SEIU's asked me to join the conversation today, and I'm very pleased to be here. Not only because I admire you and what you do, but because I think we've got to figure out a way to reverse the trend. Well, since 1965, we have seen the proportion of the federal budget dedicated to research decline by about 2/3. If the United States is going to be a leading researcher in the world, if we're going to solve the problems people are facing, we got to get you the resources that you need. I wish I could tell you that, a logical argument would solve the problem. This answer to the solution is not scientific. It's not logical. It's not based on observable research. It's just straight up politics, man. It's about power. Faculty researchers are just not a big lobby in Washington. So because it's a power equation, we gotta operate in the basis of power, and I believe we need to build a political voice, a constituency. You've got to have the people on your side mobilized. How can we, as Americans who believe in science and research, figure out a way to get a research majority in Congress? I didn't say Republican, I didn't say Democrat.
What I'd like to do at this point is to present you with a letter of faculty at the university who are completely extremely pleased to have your support for increased research funding.
I'm going to share this with all my colleagues.
One of the reasons that we're organizing a union is precisely the kind of issues that we're dealing with around research that we talked about today with Keith Ellison. And we're also trying to organize in order to form a stronger voice for faculty on campus, to build the kind of public university we want, to advocate for the kind of federal funding that we think we need at the university, and which the public deserves for publicly funded research.
I personally know of faculty that have given up their position as professors and left academia because of the giant pressure put on them to get funding. Once a major stepping stone in our academic career has now become for postdocs a transient, low-wage position with none of the university support or the professional development that we need to move forward.
I simply want to thank all of the faculty and the researchers and the investigators and the inquirers who have come together to form a voice. Your perspective is unique. Your perspective is hands-on, on the ground. And you've got to be able to offer that perspective in a way that is meaningful for people who are making policy decisions. It's very important.